It has been almost 2 years since the last Survival Olympics test, and since then we've gotten second star powers, gadgets, and second gadgets added to the game, not to mention a ton of balance changes that have completely changed how well each brawler does in this test. Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime, and it is time for the Brawl Stars Survival Test Olympics. We're going to be putting all 43 brawlers up against the sniper in the training area to see how long each of them can survive for. Brawlers can use supers, star powers, gadgets, and anything else to allow them to survive for as long as possible. However, they cannot kill the sniper bot, and they cannot attack any of the other opponents other than the sniper bot. Additionally, brawlers cannot use any sort of jumps to dodge shots or anything like that, and they also cannot throw down any spawnables to tank some shots for them. Now, if a brawler can survive forever against the sniper bot, ties are broken by removing the healing mechanic that keeps them alive forever. We're going to start off with the worst brawlers for this test and then work our way up to the best brawlers for this test. And I want to know who you think the top 3 are. Now, you might be curious to know that the gameplay for this video is actually recorded using my OnePlus 8 Pro. OnePlus is the sponsor of this video, and I am really thankful for them being a longtime partner on my channel. You can check them out in the link in the description of any of my videos, especially if you're looking for a new mobile phone. First up, we have a two-way tie between Brock and Piper for last place. Piper and Brock don't actually have the lowest HP in the game, but unlike other low HP brawlers, they don't have any shields or healing abilities, which means that they get taken out after 8.2 seconds. Up next, we have a 5-way tie for 37th place out of the 42 brawlers in the game. Surge, Rico, Dynamite, and Colt all have the same amount of HP, and they all get taken out in 9.7 seconds because they also don't have any special abilities that help them survive for longer. By the way, guys, Surge has a really important announcement.
KAIROS, code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. Yeah!
Thank you, Surge. I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, also tying for 37th place is B with her Honeycoat star power that allows her to survive with just 1 HP left. Unfortunately for B, the shield doesn't last very long, so she only survives 1 additional ammo. Now, up next, we have a 4-way tie for 33rd between Amber, Penny, Mr. P, and Jessie. Technically, Amber has the lowest amount of HP between them all, but she still survives the same number of hits against the sniper bot. They all last for 11.1 seconds because they don't have shields or heals, which means that they have to rely on their health. Up next is Crow with the help of his defense booster gadget. When used perfectly, it shields him for 40% 3 times, and Crow is able to utilize all 3 charges of it throughout this test. The sniper bot deals the equivalent of 5,000 damage to Crow in order to take him out, and he takes 32nd place. Next is Colette, who uses her mass tax star power to shield some damage for 5 seconds, which actually gives her a decent advantage over other brawlers with similar amounts of HP to her. She is able to survive for 13.8 seconds, which ties her with 3 other brawlers for 28th. And one of those brawlers is Edgar, who can use his new Fisticuffs star power to receive 25% more healing from the damage that he deals. Now, the sniper bot doesn't have very much HP, which really limits Edgar's healing quite a bit. In fact, I think that Edgar has much more survivability than this test would suggest because of that. The other 2 brawlers that tie with Colette and Edgar for 28th are Gale and Bo. Brawlers with spawnables are not allowed to avoid damage by letting their spawns tank for them, so Bo does not get to use his super totem gadget. This means that these brawlers have to rely on their 5,040 HP for this test. Up next is Lou, who gets to use his Ice Block gadget to become immune to damage 3 times throughout this test. And this gadget does require perfect timing because the immunity only lasts for 1 second, but this does a pretty fair showcase at showing how useful this gadget can be. With that said, it doesn't show its full potential since immunity can be crazy helpful in some situations. Now, Lou actually ties with Nita for 26th place. Now, in the last survival test, Nita was one of the top contestants because she could heal forever in the training cave thanks to her Bear With Me star power. However, since the bear attacks other bots other than the sniper bot, and if she uses the bear on the sniper bot, it will kill it, I couldn't allow Nita to use this ability this time around. With that said, Nita might be better at surviving than 26th place would suggest. And coming in 25th place is Gene, who gets to use his lamp blowout gadget to heal 600 health 3 times. This brings Gene's total HP pool to 6,280, which is actually closest to Carl's, just for reference. Now, obviously, Gene's gadget is usually used to push enemies away rather than for healing, but that additional health can really come in handy in certain circumstances. Up next is a 4-way tie for 21st, starting with 8-Bit, who's able to survive for 18.1 seconds. 8-Bit doesn't have any way to survive other than his 6,720 health because he can't use his turret to body block. With that said, 8-Bit is definitely one of the tankier brawlers in the game, and I wanted to show him first to give you an idea of the survivability of the next 3 brawlers who are less tanky. Jackie. Now, Nani certainly does not look like much of a tank, but with her tempered steel star power, the damage done to her is reduced by 80% while she's controlling her super, which is an insane amount of shield power. In fact, if you want to take out a Nani from full HP down to 0 in this type of a situation, you'd have to deal over 18,000 damage, which is just crazy. Thankfully for other brawlers, Nani's only able to use her super once during this test, so she places 21st. Also taking 21st is Mortis, who gets to heal using his super one time in this challenge. Now, in the previous Survival Olympics, I let Mortis heal off of other bots as well, but I think this is a much better representation of Mortis's actual survivability. With that said, a skilled Mortis will often heal off of more than one brawler with their super, and Mortis does have a lot of mobility, which really improves his survivability on the battlefield. The final brawler tying for 21st place is Carl. Carl already has a ton of HP to begin with, but his protective pirouette star power reduces the damage that he takes by 30% while he's using his super. Although it does not buy Carl a ton of additional time, it allows him to survive as long as 8-bit, Nani, and Mortis. We are now halfway through all of the brawlers, and we've already seen some impressive situations. But from here on out, we're going to be seeing brawlers that are better than average, at least when it comes down to the survival test. Next is a 5-way tie for 16th place, starting with Spike. Now, despite Spike having the second lowest health in the game, his fertilized star power has a lot of healing potential. It heals 800 health per second for 5 seconds, which more than doubles Spike's survivability and allows him to survive for 19.5 seconds. Surviving the same amount of time is Max, who gets to use her Sneaky Sneakers gadget to restart time a couple of times. This completely heals up Max after her first use and gives her half of her health back after a second use. Unfortunately for Max, the cooldown for the gadget isn't fast enough to allow her to come back a third time, and she ties with Spike for 16th place. Next is Ems, who uses her hype star power to heal her 420 health per second for the 5 seconds that her super lasts. She's only able to heal off that one sniper bot, but it should be noted that she can heal off of multiple brawlers at a time in an actual match. This allows Ems to also tie with Spike and Max for 16th place. Also tying with them is Shelly, who uses her Band-Aid star power to heal 1,800 health after she falls below 40% health. Unfortunately for Shelly, it's not able to charge back up for a second use before she gets taken out, but this is enough for her to survive for 19.5 seconds, which is pretty impressive. The final brawler tying for 16th place is Daryl. Now, Daryl is one of the tankiest brawlers in the game with 7,000 HP, but he can also use his Steel Hoops star power to survive an additional attack from the sniper bot. This ability reduces incoming damage by 90%, which is crazy, but it'll only last for the 0.9 seconds that Daryl is actually using its super, so it requires perfect timing to really be useful. Next is Jackie, who also has 7,000 HP, but she gets to use her Hardy Hard Hat star power to reduce all incoming damage by 15%. This essentially means that Jackie has 8,235 HP, which allows her to survive for 22.3 seconds. And one thing that people often forget about this star power is that it effectively buffs all incoming healing that Jackie receives because the shielding is always in effect. Now, El Primo also ties with Jackie for 14th place. He doesn't have any heals or shields, and he can't use his super to dodge any damage, so he has to rely on his 8,400 HP. El Primo has the second highest HP in the game, but we still actually have 13 brawlers that last longer than him. And one of those brawlers is Leon. In the right situation, Leon's survivability is insane because of his Invisi-Heal star power. It heals him for 1,000 health per second for 7 seconds as long as he stays invisible, which is 7,000 total healing. That's like Leon has 11.5 thousand health if he's able to fully utilize this star power, which I should mention that the sniper bot can't even deal damage to Leon fast enough for him to heal all 7 times. With that said, Leon survives for 27.9 seconds and takes 13th place. Now, coming in 12th place is Frank. Frank has the highest HP in the game, and when he has his spun star power, it increases even more to be just under 11,000 health. It takes the sniper bot just under half of a minute to take Frank out, and what I find surprising is the fact that there are still so many brawlers that can survive longer than the tankiest brawler in the game. Up next is Byron, who only has 3,500 health normally, but with his shot in the arm gadget, he's able to heal himself for 800 health per second for 3 seconds. Not only is he able to use his gadget all 3 times, but he can also heal himself with his super 1 time, which means that his total health pool comes to 12.8 thousand health. This allows him to last for 35 seconds and take 11th place. Now, you might be surprised to see that the lowest HP brawler in the game actually comes in 10th place for the survival test. This is because Tick's well-oiled star power allows him to start his natural healing right before the sniper sniper bot fires a second attack. And since Tick heals 400 HP naturally, the sniper bot only takes Tick down 100 HP with each shot. I definitely don't think that Tick is as good at surviving as this test would suggest, but it might be enough to convince some of you that his well-oiled star power is really good. Up next is Bull, who gets to use his T-Bone Injector gadget alongside his Tough Guy star power in combination to really give him a solid boost. His star power reduces all damage by 30% when Bull falls below 40% health, and Bull can heal 1,500 health with his gadget 3 times once he's below that 40% threshold to get even more out of his healing. The sniper bot has to deal the equivalent of 15,000 damage before Bull dies, which takes 39 seconds. This means that Bull takes 9th place. Now next is Sprout, who uses its Garden Mulcher gadget to heal and its Photosynthesis star power to shield itself while inside the bush. Just like Bull can use his healing and shielding in combination to each other, this dramatically improves Sprout's survivability. The sniper bot has to deal the equivalent of 15.5 thousand damage before Sprout gets taken out, which actually turns out to be a very viable strategy with Sprout on certain maps with lots of bush. Rosa actually ties with Sprout for 6th place, using the bushes to her advantage as well. Her Grow Light gadget places Bush down, and her Plant Life star power heals her for 200 health per second the entire time. Plus, she even uses her shield for part of it to further increase her survivability. Just like Sprout, Rose is able to survive for 40.5 seconds. Now up next is Poco, who also ties with Sprout and Rosa for 6th place, but Poco doesn't get any shields to help him out at all. Instead, Poco gets to use his gadget and his super to heal himself, which greatly increases how long Poco can stay alive for. Now, what I find really impressive about Poco is the fact that he can share this healing with his teammates, no matter what brawler they are, which is why he's so good at supporting other brawlers. Now, coming in 5th place is Bibi. Bibi uses her batting stance star power to permanently reduce all incoming damage by 30%. Plus, she can use her vitamin booster 3 times for a total additional healing of 7.2 thousand health. This means that the sniper bot has to deal the equivalent of just under 18,000 health in order to take Bibi out, which takes 50 seconds to do. This is really impressive, but there's actually a huge jump in survivability for the top 4 brawlers. Now, Barley's survivability is actually really insane when you think about it. He can use his medical use star power to heal 400 HP with every single attack, which pretty much means that Barley never has to fall back to heal. As long as he can stand behind a wall or out of range from an enemy, he can just attack to heal, which is really unique. But on top of that, Barley's new Herbal Tonic gadget further adds to his survivability by healing him for 500 health per second for 5 seconds. This buys Barley a lot of additional time to reload his attacks to help him further improve his healing. Barley is able to survive for an entire minute and 1 second, which means that the sniper has to deal 22.5 thousand damage worth before Barley actually dies. Now, falling in 3rd place is Sandy, thanks to his Sleep Stimulator gadget that allows Sandy to completely heal himself 3 times during this test. That's an additional 15,000 health to Sandy's total health pool, but that is not all. He also gets to use his Healing Wind star power to heal himself for 300 health per second for 9 seconds while his super is activated. This means that the sniper bot has to deal over 23,000 damage to Sandy in order to take him out, which is just crazy. But it is not as crazy as the top 2 brawlers. Do you know who they are? Let's find out. Coming in 2nd place is Tara. Now, Tara definitely is not very tanky herself, but her Healing Shade star power can heal like crazy. It heals 400 HP every half a second, which is way faster than the sniper bot can dish it out, which means that Tara could survive forever with this star power. Now, in order to break the tie for 1st place, Tara's Healing Shade star power is removed from the equation, and she does not survive nearly as long as the brawler in 1st place, which is none other than Pam. Pam's super heals just over 500 HP per second, and the sniper doesn't even attack every second, which means that Pam will always overheal its damage. But even if you remove the healing from Pam's super, she can heal using her Pulse Modulator gadget and her Mama's Hug star power, which absolutely justifies her being the best brawler in the game when it comes to the Survival Olympics. But there might be a brawler that you think is better at surviving on the actual battlefield than Pam. If you think there's someone that's better, let me know in the comment section below. But also, I'd really appreciate you guys subscribing for more quality Brawl Stars content. And of course, don't forget to use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. Also, if there's a specific Brawl Stars Olympics video that you would like me to redo now that we have a lot of new abilities in the game, make sure you let me know in the comment section below, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and for now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.